Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Now! Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternating. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Robert Jarsinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer Carrie Jarsinski and our very own critic in residence, Tim Braden. It was Oscars night last night, ladies and gentlemen. And did everybody make it up all the way? It was a long show. Did you make it up all the way to the end of the ceremony, Tim?
Barely. I've been fighting a cold, but I went out to a grad student party and probably shouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little bit not all here right now. So I apologize for that, but I made it through.
It's nice that you're using the cold as the excuse, not all the alcohol you consumed at the party.
Oh, but I always consume that much alcohol.
Okay, so that's not
It actually kills off the germs.
Okay,
that's why I'm never ill. I'm never sober either, and I never get sick.
It's a little bit of a change. It's a morning recording. Normally record at night too. I don't have any whiskey or anything in my coffee.
You're kind of buzzing on your coffee right now.
Yeah, it's odd to be recording early in the day, but we wanted to record early so that we could have our latest greatest thoughts fresh off the Oscars. Carrie, did we end up staying up all night?
I think you dozed at the end. I made it all the way through, unfortunately.
No.
But you did you feel like you made it through?
I did make it through, despite having kind of the kids there in and out and trying to deal with bedtime routines and getting through the Oscar ceremonies.
Who are the kids rooting for?
Coco?
Probably Coco.
Ferdinand?
Not big Shape of Water fans?
Although I was trying to explain to Abby...
Alice liked the metaphor for racism and stuff the most. And I was kind of like, Alice, it's a little political for me. And she was like, it's that, we're at that point in the world where that's what we need. And so she was excited that it won.
Okay. That's cool.
I was trying to explain leading actress and supporting actress to Abby, and she was like, "Oh, supporting." So she's like the helper. She was really interested to see. She would have stayed up, and she's competitive.
No. She plays Rob. She's like, I know if I keep asking Daddy questions that he feels really smart answering and telling me the response to, he's not going to notice that 3 hours have passed and we're sitting here still watching this.
I respectfully disagree.
I feel like that would work.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like that would absolutely work on you, Rob.
And actually, you bring up another question that I will ask you later in the show because I actually do want to know what classifies you as a supporting actor or actress.
Okay.
But I guess we'll get there later.
We'll dive into it all. Normally we talk about our movies worth mentioning segment. Because it's a special episode with the Oscars, we're going to start off with just talking about the ceremony in general. And then after we come back from the break, go over our own predictions that we had, as well as the Oscar Ballot Contest, get into those results. So how was the Oscars overall? What do you guys think?
They were long this year. Maybe it just felt like they were long because I was sick, but they felt really long this year.
So let's see, 11 Central is when they finally cut that poor gentleman off who was trying to get just a few words in. It started around 7 o'clock, 7 on the nose.
Yeah.
So 4 hours. Yeah, that's a
long ceremony.
Yeah. It's a doozy. Did you guys so for those of you who missed it, they did a thing at the beginning, which I felt like was a little bit weird, or his name's not Fallon, his Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is the announcer, and he goes and he says, for everybody who's the shortest, we'll win a jet ski. Is that a legit thing? Do you think the person who was the shortest speech gets a jet ski?
Well, they paid it off at the end, so they had a jet ski in the building.
That's true. That's true. And so do you think that was actually with intent, speed it along? We do actually want this to be shorter, or was it to be funny?
I think it was to be funny. I think if you're Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, rather, I'm going to be doing this
that. I know. Let's just call him Jimmy, and then we can't lose.
If you're good old Jim, and you really want the night to go fast, it's easy to say, I will bribe whoever has the shortest speech, but it's even easier to say, how about we don't do the bit where we go across the street to harass moviegoers and put them in front of a camera?
So then I have two thoughts on both things that you're bringing up. Number one, absolutely that bit is played for laughs because nobody wants...
I would have gone short for the jet ski. I would have cut you out of my speech.
Do the people in the room, other than maybe in the minor categories, do they need a jet ski?
I'm saying a best live action short film director can probably deal with a jet ski.
Right. And I honestly thought there would be at least one person who would just
was like, hi, and walked away.
Yeah, not even like, no, I'm good.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you.
Bye.
But then
that's what I would have done.
The joke came even further along when the trip to Lake Havasu, staying at the Days Inn. Again, perhaps maybe some of the minor category award winners, but Frances McDormand doesn't need to go stay at a Days Inn at Lake Havasu. Maybe she's
don't tell Frances McDormand what she can and cannot.
That's
do.
true. I can't do that.
That was a major theme of her speech.
And then back to your comments, Tim, on the bit. They did this last year, and it's probably something that's been done even prior to last year, but kind of bringing in kind of someone who's a large group audience of people who aren't expecting to see the Oscar.
It's a very Kimmel bit to do.
Yeah. And it did not work.
It was
so awkward. They got lucky last year, if you recall, where there was some really interesting kind of average moviegoer people that were brought in. And
that was good.
They were.
The guy did the selfie.
Yeah, with Denzel.
He was great.
Yeah,
he was great. This year, they got a guy who was pretty clearly stoned off his tits and had like 4 boxes of Junior Mints in front of him. It's like, this is not going well at all. Yeah.
I feel like, and Rob asked me when we were watching it too, he's like, if Guillermo del Toro walked into the theater as a surprise, would you know who he is? And I'm like, obviously not.
Well, I was nervous for the bit because, he was selecting people, which I know, but if I saw them in passing, like Kimmel would have been the most recognizable person in the initial bits. Like, he picked Guillermo del Toro.
Thankfully, Gal Gadot hopped up because I was like, people probably will know because she's at least striking. Even if you're not at first thinking Wonder Woman's walking in, you're at least going to be like, whoa, well, there's a pretty lady. And then see Jimmy Kimmel and be like, oh, okay, like there's something happening.
And I hope they didn't interrupt the Wrinkle in Time screen. I would have been pissed.
Luke Skywalker
if it would have been a preview. So they would have interrupted people who were going to a preview screening of a movie that has not yet opened, which was my big thing, was like, what are these fuckers doing trying to like ruin another person's movie night?
What happens if they had just sent Luke Skywalker in and nobody knew who he was? Like, how sad would that have been, too? Because he's looking a little rough.
I think Junior Mints would have known Mark Hamill.
Maybe, but only because he was stoned.
And I wasn't sure. Armie Hammer, and was it Chalamet who had the hot dog cannon as well, too? I don't know about bringing in a projectile launching device into the theater was a smart move. I could tell there was some reluctance on Armie Hammer's part and Chalamet's part about launching hot dogs into the crowded theater.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it, no.
Well, that was one of the bits
I realized until this moment that having the stars of the Gay Love Story launching hot dogs was like something that happened on the Oscars.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's all coming together.
You're adding in context that I didn't think about, which actually makes it better for me, I think.
I think it makes it worse for me.
Does it?
It potentially explains their reluctance. I don't know. It's also just fucking gross, so there's that.
So that's one bit that didn't work. Overall, though, good. Like, just the feel of the Oscars, the jokes, and just the ceremony itself. What were your overall impressions? Was this a good Oscars?
I felt like, and this is just me. I mean, I think everybody went in with the expectation that it was going to be super political and super poignant on feelings on society right now, and it very much wasn't. I mean, there were it was definitely more subtle than it was last year, and more, yes. I think. And so I kind of wanted your guys' opinion on that too, of by design, probably. I feel like it was by design. I feel like Jimmy wasn't as political as he could have been. He threw in a few Trump jokes, but most of the actresses, if they got up there, they said something really subtle, and then everyone other than that just did the regular typical thank yous and sat
Pretty
down.
Much. And I think there comes a point where we've had 4,000 award ceremonies at this point this season, and they've all made a lot of the same points and same speeches, and I think they're just tired and done and just want to
maybe
enjoy the Oscars.
Maybe.
I think that's kind of what we were seeing. The ceremony as a whole, I was really just not invested in. I thought it was one of the weaker Oscars that have been in a while. Not flagrantly bad, like the year that Anne Hathaway and James Franco hosted, which was the most unbearable shit. But I think most of the bits didn't play. I think very few of the presenters had any real energy, and there were a lot of weird transitions throughout the whole thing.
Do you blame Jimmy for that? Is that his job to be the...
No, that's the writers' job.
The writers.
Oh.
Yeah, and they get worse it seems like they're getting worse every year. And I don't know if there's something wrong in rehearsals. Yeah, it seems like the presenters are seeing what's on the teleprompter for the first time because they don't have any...
Well, that's routinely the case.
The funniest was, do you guys remember the one, though, the bit by, Is her name Maya Rudolph?
Maya Rudolph and
Tiffany Haddish and Maya Rudolph was easily the best.
That was my favorite, but it actually felt like it wasn't scripted.
I thought they were riffing a little bit.
I think they
were. They were.
Yeah.
I think they were like, that was a stupid line.
I think Tiffany Haddish can't read off of a teleprompter, if you remember from awards nomination. Right. So I think that the two of them were just having fun.
Yeah, and that worked.
Also possibly auditioning for like a buddy comedy that has been kicked around for a while between those two. So,
but if you could channel that and somehow get it represented through the other presenters, I was bored. So Tim, you said it's one of the how did you phrase one of the worst for you, or
weakest? Worst means something different. Worst means things were going bad and everything was going fine. It's just what was going fine was not interesting.
It's like my least favorite quality of a movie where you mentioned Anne Hathaway and James. At least it was a train wreck worth watching.
Right.
Like this is just blah.
Yeah. To me, the moment that symbolized this Oscars was the production of "Remember Me" when they were doing the songs, which started out with Gael Garcia Bernal being like incapable of finding his key, and then turned into this like energetic but still really like pedestrian staging of like the fast part of the song. And I found it all
this ceremony is supposed to be the pinnacle of everything Hollywood, right. And we have bad writing, bad. Like, where are all the
auto-tune?
Where are the triple threats?
So bad writing, bad acting. Weird staging, bad sound. So it is the pinnacle of Hollywood.
So what was the best thing about it for you guys then? You got to put your little silver linings on it.
As far as like from a ceremony perspective?
You just give me what your favorite thing about it was.
Well, I did like this. I don't like this song, but I liked "This Is Me." I thought the number actually
she did an awesome job.
She's good.
Yeah.
Kayla Seattle is really good.
Yeah. So that was your favorite?
That was one of my favorites. I liked the set. It was gaudy and overdone, but I think it was gaudy and overdone in the right way.
Right.
And I did, as much as the jet ski bit was terrible, I loved that the payoff was Helen Mirren as like the glamorous model. Like
Rob was, I agree, and I totally thought of you when that came out, and I was like, Rob, that's Helen Mirren. Rob's like, no. I'm like, yeah, it's Helen Mirren, but I think it was so unexpected.
It was.
I did like the bit where he.
She's a good sport though. She's always like sort of exuded that.
We know you have a thing. We know. I'm just saying,
she does like stupid shit for a joke a lot.
Yeah.
So.
They I think one of my favorite bits though that Jimmy said, it was just teeny and little, but when he made the joke about like the Hollywood elite, and then he says like he makes a comment about the set being like made of Swarovski crystals. Yes. Like we're totally grounded. I don't know why everyone says that we're not like grounded in reality. That wasn't exactly what he said. But
it's sad. I have it was
funny.
Mostly bad things written down of like highlights for me. But it's got to be Kadish and Rudolph are my highlights.
Yeah.
Like I think they were. Sorry. Haddish.
Get it together.
Thank you. Is my highlight. I like Kumail and Lupita presenting too.
Oh yeah, he mostly.
And I'm always a fan for bringing in Eva Saint. No, who was that?
Oh, the two Eva Marie Saint and
Rita Moreno.
And Rita Moreno were both terrific.
I love it when they do that. They need to pay homage more towards the classics, and
especially because like they're getting worse and worse with the honorary Oscars. I don't even think they mentioned the honorary Oscars this year, did they?
No Lifetime no,
because ordinarily they're like, back in November we gave the ceremony for these wonderful people, and they'll like show 2 seconds worth of clips, and they didn't do that.
Yeah,
they had Agnes Varda in the building.
Yes,
wearing very awesome like fancy pajamas, basically. I don't know if you saw her.
Yeah, no, I did see her, and I agree with you on the musical numbers. Remember Me. I don't want to judge because I can't sing, period, let alone in a crowded room.
You were not being paid to do so
that's
on
right.
television.
I want to say Mary J. Blige was a little flat, too, and I don't want to be too overcritical.
I'm not sure if she was flat or if she was mic'd wrong.
I
was having a real hard time figuring out if that was just a production issue.
I want to say, though, that the in memoriam, Eddie Vedder, that was a great performance.
That was great. Although now you've reminded me of my
actual
least favorite thing. Well, they miss people. They always miss people.
Oh, do they?
Although unusually they missed a competitive acting award winner. Dorothy Malone died, and they did not show her.
Or Toby Hooper.
He's never won an Oscar though. Like for them to not have an actual Oscar winner is fucked up. Not to have Toby Hooper is just genre bias, I think.
Right.
They miss people. But there was that weird moment where they cut back to a wide shot of Eddie Vedder right when Jean Moreau's name was coming up, and boy, the room I was in was not having it.
Oh, interesting.
Explain
that to me.
Jean Moreau is like a phenomenal actress.
Okay.
And like one of the icons of
So she didn't get her screen time.
She didn't get her screen time.
Got it. Interesting.
And like to cut away, we're not there for the performance. And that's the thing. We're not there for the musical performance. We're there for the dead people.
Yeah. That's the thing that I feel like you got to get right. In my opinion, that's the most important thing.
The opening for me also, the black and white did not do it for me.
I missed the opening. I was on the bus.
It was pretty bad. They were trying to make it like
could have been good.
Old Hollywood, like with the grainy screen with the
whole
with
thing.
The
idea
voiceover.
was good. It just wasn't
like
funny.
when Greg Marcus talks about
Like Greg Marcus. Yes,
Greg Marcus was a notch up on
That's a Midwestern in-joke for all y'all.
For anybody,
one of our local chains has the chain owner talking about his grandpa liking black and white movies.
I actually prefer Greg Marcus to the opening of the Oscars.
Greg Marcus is cute.
I know
he's
he
just such a daffy old man.
He means well, and he
means
looks
so
like
well.
he's like an everyday man, but I bet he's loaded. You know,
Like loaded with money or loaded like he got real fucking drunk? Because I think both of those are.
I think probably
true.
both. Yeah, more of column A on that one.
Look up Greg Marcus on YouTube.
Yes.
Any speeches that were memorable? I mean, obviously, I think the one that stole the show for me was Frances McDormand. But any others before we can talk about that one too? Or?
Frances McDormand's was clearly like the most notable. Although, like any Frances McDormand award speech, was notable in part because it feels like she just gets up there and just freestyles, and it's kind of exciting and kind of terrifying.
Totally.
And also, I love that everybody in the entire world had to go Google inclusion writer, and no one could figure out what it means.
I hashtagged it.
I mean,
right out of the gate.
It sounds like something that's probably good. Inclusion is typically a better thing than not.
Right. I wonder how they would enforce an inclusion. How do you force an inclusion writer?
This is the question that we have.
Can I guess what it is? Because I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
Sure.
I mean, I know she said that, but I just sort of drew like, ooh, inclusion, yay. So inclusion writer, does that mean that you tag on all the additional people who supported the writing, not just like the one dude who wrote it? You include all the other writers?
So a writer generally is a contractual obligation that
RIDER, not WRIT.
Writer.
It's a contractual obligation that someone that you're trying to get says, yeah, you can have. So Mariah Carey, for example, her writer has, you need to have tea with lemons and honey presented with me. Like if you want me to be part of this thing, like my dressing room has to have this.
I assume it refers to setting affirmative quotas, but I truly do not know.
Yeah. So what she's saying is, actors, actresses, if you want, make sure when someone's trying to get you to be in their movie that the studio or whoever tries to sign you on board, make sure they
get those
you get an
inclusion
writer
writers
to make sure there's diversity represented. Like if you want me, you have to make sure. But like, how do you enforce it?
Wait,
What
but how
is-
did
what are
so
the
reword
requirements?
how she said it? In context, how did she say it again?
2 words. Inclusion writer.
That's what she said.
That's all she said.
Okay.
And then
It was weird and wonderful.
Figure it out
I
for
bet
yourself, yes.
98.7% of people thought she said inclusion writer like I did.
I'll also bet, though, that those 1.3% were disproportionately in that room.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, totally.
Getting
I
a
agree.
lot of buzz right now. She asked, and this is what was pretty powerful until you saw the number of people standing. She asked that all the female people nominated or as part of the process to stand up, and I was expecting to see like better representation.
Right.
I don't know why
I
I
think
was
that's the
surprised.
point.
Yeah, that was the point. But I think she was trying to acknowledge.
Although
that,
I
and
also
then-
feel like there's a bit of a... I think it's a little bit less... I think if you say, could everyone who is nominated for any award please stand up, you're still not having even half of that building stand up, maybe not even a quarter of that building
that's a
stand
good
up.
point.
So I think
Yeah.
that's something
Fair
to
enough.
keep in mind. Although clearly the point was made and the point needed to be made. But back to your initial question, what were the best speeches? I think McDormand's was the wildest, and that's something. My 2 favorites were actually right in a row. They were the 2 screenplay acceptance speeches. So James Ivory, oldest Oscar winner ever.
his
giving
was
a very
good.
charming, contained. One of the people in my room said what wonderful adjectives he used. I think he said what a princely thing the Academy has done or something. And then immediately followed by Jordan Peele, who was just so
good.
clearly
Happy.
could not deal with how excited he was that he was now
Yeah.
an Oscar winner. And like if you saw at the end when he was walking off stage
Yeah.
and he like bit his knuckle, it's like, oh,
I
want you to make
know.
every movie now.
I want you
You're
to
the
bite my
best.
knuckle.
Sam
But that was
Rockwell.
weird.
No.
No.
Weird. You made it weird.
Good pick. Sam Rockwell did it for me with his speech kind of early on. I think he was the first award winner of the night, so he got to go backstage and start drinking. I thought his speech was funny, perfect. Like mentioned his grandfather, and then I think he also wanted to thank anybody who saw 3 billboards and anybody who just saw a billboard ever. And I thought that was he was. I'm happy to see Sam Rockwell win. So
Yeah.
Yes.
I have nothing to add here.
nothing.
You guys talked about all the good
We
ones.
talked about all the good ones.
Do you want to take how Roger Deakins finally won and gave a kind of crappy speech? You can
Which
have
one?
that one.
Okay, let me go quickly through my list to see what he did. Cinematography. Blade Runner 49, right?
Right?
Yeah, I picked that in my picks. And I don't remember the speech.
That's because it wasn't very good.
Okay.
There weren't, I'll be honest, minus McDormand's. Usually you get a couple McDormand wild speeches, like people going off and really excited. Gary Oldman, I want to say Gary Oldman was good.
Oldman would just not shut up, but
Yeah.
I don't think his speech was good or bad. It was just long.
Yeah.
So Francis,
Like
quick side note.
That year that Julia Roberts talked for like 4.5 minutes, but just like that. Except it was not interesting, and neither was she.
But so Frances McDormand, the last time she gave a speech, she did the thing where she was like, "Hey, I know I'm really secretive about my political leanings." Does that make her like a libertarian? What is that? If you're not a
Wait, what?
Don't you remember her saying this in her previous speech? She said, "I'm really
1996?
No, this was like for the Golden Globes."
Oh, I don't.
No, I can't just summon that speech
Oh,
back.
okay.
What
So,
is
well,
it?
I just remember because I remember being like, somebody that's not outwardly left in Hollywood.
She was probably joking because she's quite forward about it.
Oh, she is.
That was a joke.
Let's move along.
Well, I do want to say something. A lot of flack going on right now with Kobe Bryant being a winner, and Gary Oldman actually, which I didn't realize some of the accusations there, but both in the past have been accused for things, and it kind of I've been thinking about this too. Is what role should the Oscars play in either punishing or reward? Like, should they be based on the merit? Like what role does Oscars play in kind of bringing justice, I guess, to society through the awards process? And I don't know if either of you have any.
Well, I don't think they can.
Thoughts. Yeah,
I think that ultimately this is I think it's very nice for the people in the room to believe that they're bringing important issues to the fore, and everyone like in the world is not like, I did not realize before that sexism was bad, but now I do. And I think this is how Hollywood views itself in general. At the same time, these are gorgeous rich people wearing expensive clothes and expensive jewelry, handing each other big fucking gold statues. So I think there's a certain level of insincerity baked into the fact that we're watching the Oscars that I think cannot be overcome by even the most like warm-hearted of social messages. And that only gets compounded by the well, we're only going to punish the men who we like noticed or who we care to punish. Because I think like Kobe Bryant is a rapist. I mean, like that's pretty clearly the case. And he was just like, given a big old standing O when he won an Oscar. So
but as if I'm not a voter for the Oscars, nor will I likely ever be. But if I'm part of the voting body, I don't know what criteria I'm supposed to what list.
Yeah, like does that ding you 2 points?
Should I be thinking about that, or should I be basing it on the merit of the product in front of me, on the artistic?
I mean, I think should is a blind here, because whether we should be basing it on the merit of the product, they have never at any point in their 90-year history done so.
Right. So you might as well.
It's got to be something. It might as well be social activism.
So his movie must have been real good then.
Right, to overcome.
That brought him down 10 points, but he still won.
But what's interesting is, despite all that,
because they liked when he played for the Lakers, and it's the team town.
And maybe it's enough time has passed that people aren't thinking about it.
It didn't hurt Oldman from getting, and it's always interesting to me where the criticism comes in and where it doesn't, and what we celebrate and what we don't. It's not consistent.
Yeah, we pick at Weinstein openly while we're on there, and yet we let other people go.
I think there's
a
recency thing. The Oldman accusations are not new. And I think basically the only accusations that have gained traction are the ones that have come out since the Weinstein.
Which is the sad part of it, though, right?
Yeah, and that's the part that bothers me. Either you're objective, basing things on merit, and you're excluding all of the extraneous things,
right,
or you're applying it consistently and judging people based on their factors outside of the craft itself, and applying it here too.
I totally got the sense, and I don't know if you guys agree, or I was watching Kobe Bryant's face when he went up there to accept it, and I feel like he had I know I'm a rapist face during a speech. Like, he looked guilty. Like, he felt like, you guys are looking at me and you guys know that I've done something really bad and I'm standing in front of you. And I feel like he had that presence, and I don't know if you guys agree.
I only felt he had the presence of a professional athlete who is unaccustomed to being in public, not as a professional athlete.
Maybe.
I also gathered that he was holding back because he wanted to use the platform also to go after the Trump administration as well, too, about the shut up and dribble, because LeBron James currently has been in the media doing a lot of things, vocalizing, using his platform to bring in social justice. And I think the Trump administration said basketball players should just shut up and dribble.
Right.
And that's why he brought that commentary into play there. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's awkward for him. I mean, it hovers over you. I believe that he was acquitted.
I haven't forgotten.
Or settled out of court. So he's not a convicted rapist, but yes, it's not dissimilar from others who have been chastised now, and so it's difficult. Like, what role should Oscars play in kind of bringing that out? So it's just something interesting.
Something to think about.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I'm just going to say, I think should is not the question here, because should went out the window a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think they should, if they're going to do it, they need to do it better. Yeah,
just more consistently, or make that part of the voting criteria. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. Should we head to break and then get back to our contest? Any other things?
Nope, I'm good.
Let's get back. Let's talk about some awards movies and some prediction records.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we did watch some movies. Tim, I don't know if you have any movie reviews coming up anytime soon.
I mean, I always have movie reviews coming up soon. But,
all right.
But life is busy, and I fell really far behind on my schoolwork because I'm sick. So
when Tim feels better and gets around to posting some reviews, you'll be able to find more details about all of that, all the movies we've watched at alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. If you want access to exclusive content, make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic, you can do it all on our Patreon page. Just like Leo, who is celebrating his 1-year anniversary. Happy anniversary, Leo.
Happy anniversary.
Anniversary.
Also,
move my mic away because I'm feeling very sick.
Also, Colt Kruckmeyer snagged our Razzie Award, granting them this here podcast shout out and access to all of our exclusive content. Thanks a lot, Colt. Also, I want to thank all of our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Click on the Amazon banner and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Since the last episode, had a couple of purchases here, a couple of books, housekeeping, a novel. Hey, Carrie, you should pick that one up.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
You should,
maybe you should pick that one up.
Let's not gender everything here, Rob.
Also, Flowers for Beginners, an adult coloring book with fun, easy, and relaxing color pages. Perfect gift for beginners.
It is. It's very relaxing.
Very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Would that help me, Care? I'm a very uptight.
You just need straight up drugs.
All right.
My parents swear by coloring books for adults.
Okay. Maybe I should give that a try before I get into the prescription things, Care.
I don't think so.
Maybe the drugs will make your coloring book more interesting.
I would agree.
Also had some cell phone accessories purchased, USB to USB cables. Let's see, 1 foot. That's a short run. Short cable run.
Maybe their bed is really close to the wall.
Mm-hmm. Some health and personal care items. Crystal deodorant stick. I bet that's the healthier version. No aluminum dioxide or whatever's in there.
No, that one's filled with aluminum. Aluminum.
Aluminum,
I always
vibranium.
have trouble with that word.
Well, in Britain they say aluminum. So maybe you just need to go to Britain.
Maybe I'm British.
Maybe.
Also an
was
ebook.
That
wasn't bad.
Thanks.
Ebook picked up, The Naturalist, part of a series. That's book 1. Sports and Outdoors. Hanks Every Day. No break thick leather belt.
I need a belt.
You do need a belt. The girls were noticing that you wore a belt for the first time. They were very impressed. They're like, "What's this?
I know.
What's this thing around your waist, Mama?"
I'm trying to become a little bit trendier now that I'm in my mid-30s.
So you're accessorizing?
With a belt.
I like it.
We also had some toys and games. Crayola different colored pencils, 100 count, to complement the adult coloring book.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do they have like adult coloring books?
Oh
I
my
would be
gosh.
heartbroken if they don't.
All you would need was peach.
Just fleshy colors, like a flesh colored.
Thanks for
color.
explaining the joke, Rob.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking the color pencil set that would come with that.
Maybe like a little
different shades.
I actually thought you were talking about Call Me by Your Name.
Oh gosh.
But then also Carrie's also being racist in that apparently the only flesh.
Oh,
color
shut up.
is
Well, I'm going to say, if I was going to be doing some color your own porn, I would be using many different colors.
Colors of the rainbow.
No, I also, now that you say that, I also would have many colors of my color pencils for my nudie coloring book. I love lots of colors in neutrals, you know. I meant to say neutral coloring pencils.
Get a lot of red in there.
A lot of red. I love red. And really anything.
Also had some movies picked up on DVD. Killer of Sheep, the Charles Burnett collection.
Movie.
What is this, Tim?
Oh, it's an excellent indie film from the late 70s by an African-American director named Charles Burnett. I don't have the stamina to go into it, but it's an excellent movie.
Amazon Instant Video, East of Eden. This isn't that Dan Aykroyd, Rosie O'Donnell movie,
no,
is
that's
it?
Exit to Eden.
Oh, okay.
This is the James Dean adaptation, James Dean starring adaptation of Faulkner, I believe.
So about the same.
Steinbeck.
It's very similar, though, to Exit to Eden. Then.
Both involve Rosie O'Donnell and a bustier.
Lastly, The Gentleman's Agreement on Amazon Instant Video as well. Not familiar with that pick either.
But it sounds like it might be good for a coloring book.
Well, thank you all for your purchases. Why don't we get back going into our Oscar contest? Catch you then. Welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about the Oscars, including our prediction contest. Tim, how'd we do this year? Are you polishing up my my trophy?
No, sadly, we were pretty close, but you did not win this year,
What?
Robert. I did. So out of 24 categories, I correctly predicted 19. Rob, you predicted 18, so right in there. Carrie, you were not too far behind. You were at 16.
Only 16.
That's pretty far
Only
behind.
16.
And I feel like if you hadn't made the baffling and inexplicable decision to predict Loving Vincent, you would have been right in there.
That is your fault.
I am.
You were all like,
not.
Coco isn't so good, Carrie. It's not as good as you think it is. And then I went out.
And it's not.
Yeah, it is,
And it's
obviously.
also not good enough to have won an Oscar, and yet it won the Oscar.
I think it obviously was. And you were like, oh, well, Loving Vincent, it's my favorite movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And so I was like, well, I better do that.
I don't remember Tim being that high on Loving Vincent.
Yeah, he
but
was like, he loved it.
You know what movie
Vincent.
Tim was high on? His favorite movie of the year? Faces, Places. Right? Is that your favorite movie of 2017,
It
Tim?
is my second favorite movie of 2017.
What was number one?
That short about the world.
Oh, The World of Tomorrow.
Right. So, yeah, I stupidly put that as my will
You
win.
were pretty stupid.
Yeah.
And so, you were also stupid about that.
Because
Carrie.
we
guys are
trusted
stupid.
we trusted our film critic in residence.
I'm the one who got both animated feature and documentary feature right. So
Yeah, and you screwed us.
You're
You put
stupid.
Icarus on your.
because I know better than to predict movies that I like. I'm not the Academy.
So,
You
yeah.
will notice that John Wick did not do an end run through the Oscars last night.
Yeah, I hate this show. This show's the worst.
So much higher than last year. I think you said 19 for you, 18 for me, 16 for Carrie. I think we all improved over
Whatever.
last year.
Well, it was an easier year to predict.
Here's what happens. Here's what makes me so mad about this show and you people in general. I was going to quit this morning when I woke up. I was like, I decided I'm not going to do it anymore because you guys go out there and you cheat, basically. And I didn't cheat at all. Rob goes out there. I'm sure you look at all these lists. Rob probably buys
That's how you do it. You look at what the other pundits are predicting.
I didn't do that. I just watched the movies. You guys go out there. Rob probably buys some sort of list that he can use. You go out there and cheat by being, going to school and stuff like that in this. I just watched the movies and I didn't read anything. And then look what happens. And
so you saw Loving Vincent and you were like, yeah, that's the one.
No, that's the only one where I was like, because Tim gave it a good review and didn't like Coco, that's why I picked Loving Vincent. And here I am at 16. Do you know how much time I've wasted in my entire life watching all of these movies so that I could win this exact episode? And I'm only at 16.
You were the only person in this room to correctly predict any of the short categories.
Don't try and get me back. Don't try and reel me back in. I'm unsure on if I want to continue with you people.
This was, Tim, you had mentioned this too. In March Madness terms for sports, they call it chalk picks. It's the people who are likely to win will win, and you usually don't vote that way because there's always going to be some upset. Like to actually win a contest, you need to have a couple of surprises baked in. But not this year.
No,
huh?
if you look at the consensus of pundit predictions, in pretty much every case, the consensus won with so the exceptions would be, I don't know if there was a consensus for short documentary. Live action short, the consensus was clearly DeKalb Elementary, and that was based on, I think, just some being much too clever. Because if you look at the Silent Child's obviously a winner based on what they like in that category. So DeKalb Elementary was one that broke against the pundits. Picture was too close to call for the pundits, and then most of the people were saying War for the Planet of the Apes for visual effects, which never crossed my mind would actually happen because they would have given it to that series by now if they wanted to. But really, yeah, just short, live action short and visual effects were the only two that were genuinely against the grain of what people were predicting.
Very good. We also had a survey, obviously, that we did for our prediction contest, and with that comes some interesting data points. So, Carrie, even though you're disappointed with your 16, the average for the overwhelming number of people who participated in our contest, Oscar Ballot Contest, the average was 14.7. So you're better than average.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go.
well, there's
I'm
a little
a standard
glimmer.
deviation better than average, but
So wait.
you're better than average.
So you got, how many did you get again?
19.
19.
18 for me.
And 16 for
And
me.
we crunched the numbers though on us just to show a little bit how much of a favorite type of Oscar result this was. Had the cumulative group of our
the overall poll, if we just gone with what got the most votes, would have gone 21 out of 24, missing only picture, original screenplay, both in favor of Three Billboards, and missing documentary feature, which I'm pleased to say I got all three of those categories right.
That's really nice for you, Tim.
It
That's
is.
great.
Because I mean, you look at Faces, Places, and you're like, well, that's such a great movie, but the Academy's not going to like it.
Yeah, again, you game played me
You know,
there.
a
You were like, it's so
blind monkey
good.
could tell that the Academy's not going to like Faces, Places, so I went with Icarus.
You know, I just went with my feelings, and I watched again.
I know you love Faces, Places.
I was so good when you talked about Agnes Varda, and I was like, it's got to win because I'm sad hearing you talk about it. And then it didn't.
I was sad.
Yeah, whatever.
You don't predict based on what you think is good. You predict
Don't
based
predict
on
on
what
your
you think is gonna win.
feelings.
Exactly. I said this in my my predictions. You don't. I did not once predict on my gut. I predicted exclusively through my head, and I did better than I would have if I had predicted through my gut.
Well, should we get to our winners?
Okay.
What everybody's been waiting for. You have a couple more things?
Well, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the awards themselves.
Sure.
Like who won, who didn't win. So as I said, I think probably it was not a surprising year. Somewhat upsettingly. So
I think Best Picture was a little surprising.
Best Picture was unpredictable, which I think is not the same as surprising.
Okay.
The only big surprise I think was visual effects.
Wait, who got that?
Blade Runner got
Blade
it.
Runner.
Yeah, but I thought that that was.
We
gonna
all three
happen.
thought that.
Oh,
but the
okay.
world at large thought it was going to be Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
But I just want to, we talked a little bit about our favorite moments overall. I'm just curious, ultimately, years from now, no one will remember the ceremony. They're only going to remember this list of winners. So I'm curious for you two, and I have my own as well. Who were your favorite wins, least favorite wins? Who are you now happy is an Oscar winner for this film?
I myself was very happy for the movie Get Out getting some attention.
Yep.
I thought it might not. I thought it should be on the should win section for its adapted screenplay that it got.
Original
Screenplay. What's the difference there? Adapted, original. So
whether or not it was based on a book.
Oh, okay. So it got that, and I was excited for it. And then I was excited. I knew that Call Me By Your Name was going to get something.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know what, and I was happy that it got some attention.
The only one that stands out to me is, and this was even before winning because I knew he was going to win, was Gary Oldman for best actor. I think he deserves something for all his body of work. I really preferred Daniel Day-Lewis. I really did.
I think Oldman deserves an Oscar. I think he deserves the Oscar from 2011 when he was nominated for Tinker Tailor, Soldier Spy. I think he was not terribly good in Darkest Hour. I think they chose a clip that accentuates how not terribly good he was in that movie. For me, the clear, no two ways about it, I'm so happy that this happened. Roger Deakins finally has an Oscar.
Yeah.
14 tries. I didn't even think Blade Runner 2049 was a particularly clear standout in his career overall, but
is that why? Is it because he's been nominated? So, is it because he was owed, or because he deserved
been
it?
owed? He's lost when everyone was like, "Well, he's owed," so he surely didn't win. Most conspicuously, I think in 2010 with True Grit, where there was no clear reason for anything else to win, and he'd also been nominated X number of times. He's finally got an Oscar. I hope he now does it in Emmanuel Lubezki, where he wins the next 2 consecutive years as well. I'm sure he won't. But that, for me, was easily the highlight of the night in terms of who got awards.
What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I disappointed by Dark. Again, just wanted to see Daniel Day-Lewis up there one more time, especially since he's quote-unquote quitting acting.
Quote-unquote.
Yet again.
What about when they come out with Lincoln 2?
Lincoln 2, the sequel.
Who
Back
are they
from
gonna have?
the dead. Yeah, they got a well, they kind of already did Vampire Hunter, so I don't know.
We'll see.
As far as everybody else, I was really happy to win, even the ones that I didn't predict. You mentioned Jordan Peele winning. I didn't predict that, but was really happy to see him win. I guess I would have liked to see Lady Bird. Didn't really get. I don't think
it didn't get anything.
Lady Bird and The Post were the only 2 best pictures.
So actually, that's my other one. I wasn't high on Allison Janney's performance because I felt, I keep saying it. I wanted to see Laurie Metcalf win for that.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. People said that, and I wasn't in that camp.
I wanted Leslie Manville to win, but I certainly wanted Metcalf to win over Janney.
No. So that's the thing. Did you, Rob's whole thing when we were watching was the reason why Janney shouldn't win is because Janney's doing Janney. And I was like, I don't think Janney acts like... That's not how she is in real life.
I don't think she's doing Janney. I just think she's doing a fairly stock comic performance.
No, it wasn't. It was just so... She was... The emotional ups and downs of her, and you could sort of... You had these moments of empathy that she could pull you in, and then she was just... a terrible, terrible parent. But then again, she was able to pull you back in and kind of empathize a teeny bit right before she went back to being atrocious and awful. I don't know. I thought her performance was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I give credit to the writing. I think the swears did a lot for what you liked about
swearing,
it. What you liked about it, and the writing I think helped. And for a great performance, you need great direction. You need a great great writing, and it all needs to be.
But Margot
Robbie
Robbie was really great in I,
I actually
too.
thought Margot Robbie. Actually, seeing a couple of the scenes there, I did feel bad that she was up a surefire winner.
She was
with
really
Frances.
good in that. Yeah, I was actually surprised that she wasn't. I mean, I wasn't surprised that she didn't get it, but I thought she did a great job.
No, she was really good.
Also, I guess I didn't feel too bad for The Shape. I wasn't again because everything kind of fell into place as it should have. I wasn't disappointed by too much or excited about too many things winning. So yeah,
I will say, ironically, given that it's the reason Carrie's about ready to like murder me, but I hate Icarus, and I was really sad that it won Best Documentary, but it did.
When I said earlier that Honey, I didn't lick the spoon, I did.
Okay,
just so you know.
Good to know.
Do you just not like those types of documentaries where
I
it's
don't,
Russian doping, more following?
I don't like all of those goddamn Russian doping documentaries. No, it's one of those movies where like they start out making one documentary, but then it turns into another documentary, and it's also like the sort of Michael Moore-esque let me put myself front and center as like the subject of this movie that's actually about something else. And it's just a bad version of that on top of that being something I don't.
I think I've seen the term people use as like a newsy documentary.
Well, it's newsy, but like lots of things are like topical, and I think that's why it won, was because it's topical. But it's topical and bad. Basically,
I had thoughts on. Can I pivot to sound or to music?
Sure.
So I had originally Will Win This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
Yep.
And then I had Should Win Remember Me because I loved it so much, and I cried and cried, and then I laughed, and then I cried and whatever during Coco. I don't know if I liked Remember Me as much.
It was
out of context.
Very bad performance.
Bad performance, but also out of context of the movie. Like, should you be looking at a song as what it actually is standalone? Because what I think one of the good parts about it was that we talked about when we reviewed Coco was that the song was able to become two different things in three different contexts of the movie.
Well, the voters are actually directed to consider the song in context and then clips of its context.
Because standalone, I was like, meh, I actually preferred some of the other songs more. Like once it was just being performed on stage.
Yeah, if you're asking me like what I want to be playing in the car right now, I just played This Is Me with the girls on the way to school, and then I would probably listen to Mystery of Love by Sufjan Stevens. They didn't listen to the second. They loved This Is Me. Yeah. I probably wouldn't be jamming to Remember Me.
Yeah.
From here
and I don't think it's going to
out.
make me cry if I listened again to it just like it was there, but in context of the movie. So anyway.
Perfect. Any other?
That covers what I wanted to cover.
All right. Well, let's get to our winners. Just like last year, we held an Oscar ballot contest, and it was a neck-to-neck race. We ended up with three individuals who had 22 correct answers.
That is an impressive number.
Yes.
We had a three-way?
Yeah, we had a three-way.
Interesting.
So 3 people with 22. We had to go to the tiebreaker, which was how many total number of Oscars would the Best Picture winner win, including the Oscars.
And I want to just point out, as far as that goes, even though I beat you, Rob, you were correct in saying that Shape of Water would have 4. I said it would have 5. So.
Okay. So I would have won the tiebreaker.
You would have won the tiebreaker
had
if
it
we
gone
had
to
tied.
that.
Just keep throwing
If you
those
wouldn't have
bones out
screwed
there,
me
don't you?
with
You
the
only
damn
got 3.
faces places.
I don't know how you only got 3 because score was a gimme, and you were like, "No, I'm going to go out and say Dunkirk for score." But
Because the music, mixing, editing. Why wouldn't he also get score?
Because I don't know.
I don't know.
So for our Oscar ballot contest, we rewarded not only the person with the most correct answers with the tiebreaker included, but also one random person so that we can reward a casual moviegoer who may not have access to all the things to see everything like that. So our random winner this year was Joe Lewis out of New York, who will be receiving a $50 movie gift card to the movie theater of their choice, as long as they have like an e-gift card type of thing, or we can mail you one too. We'll pay for the postage. And
You're so generous and kind.
And our grand prize winner going to be receiving a $100 gift card to the movie theater of their choice, Michael Brown, again, who correctly guessed, or I guess guessed is.
Maybe Michael saw all the movies and just knew and didn't read Tim's review of Loving Vincent.
22 of 24.
Holy moly.
Really impressive. Michael and Joe, shoot us an email at contact@alternating.com for details on how to claim your gift cards. We'll also be sending you out a note just in case. And if don't worry, you didn't win maybe this year, that's okay. We give free stuff away every single episode. Be sure to tune in for our spoiler alert or top 5 movie posts on Facebook or Twitter. Share your favorite picks and a chance to win a free Amazon movie rental. In closing, just want to thank everyone again for a great year. It's another Oscars under our belt. Appreciate. Go out to our social media site, go out to our Facebook page and like it. We just crossed 1,000 Facebook friends. Excited. Our community is growing. Twitter, we're tweeting a lot out there. I did a live tweet last night. So probably we're annoyed with all of the notifications that you were getting from me there.
I was.
Yeah. Go out to alternating.com where you'll find all of our movie reviews, podcasts, blog posts, more articles. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google. And don't forget about Patreon. Next episode, I have no idea what we're doing.
Hang on, I've got that in front of me. Riff.
Swing low.
Don't riff like that.
Don't do that.
Do a joke. What's that joke? We heard a really good joke on that movie, and you were like, "I'll never forget it." You're supposed to be looking, Tim.
I found it, but I want to hear this joke.
Remember, and we were like, "Don't ever forget it." It was on that movie. It was so good. I remember. And it was just a really quippy one, and I was like, "Oh, your dad will like it because it's a little dirty."
Nah, I don't remember. Something about balls.
This is going bad.
Balls. All right, you go. Tell me the...
No, I want to see how much worse we can make this. So in celebration, if celebration is the word, of the upcoming second attempt to adapt the Tomb Raider video game franchise, we will be taking a look at everyone's favorite, most artistically sound and stable genre, the video game movie.
Are we doing a top 2 next week then?
We are doing a top 0. We are just basically saying video game movies are a desert to the end.
What I'm excited about, Tim, is you have like the quote unquote full list of everyone. So I'm actually interested to see how many movies I've seen out of that comprehensive video game movie list.
Oh crap!
And you'll have to tune in next week and find out. And we welcome hearing from you what your top 5 or any of your favorite video game movies are. So we'll catch you then.